I'm doing this thing to where that's why I
kind of want to do this.
Yeah, that's why I stopped using the screen in mine, because I always looked up and was like, oh, this is what I look like.
Yep.
This is going to be such a great video. I look so good on the TV.
Yep.
Oh, wait. There it is.
Exactly. Yeah. The audience is here, John, not here. Yeah.
Oh, but I look so good. But the moneymaker's right there.
Yeah.
Through the lens.
Can't stop staring at your hair, can you?
Now. Well, they keep complimenting. There's a guy who takes care of his hair. Like, this is just shampoo.
You get out of the shower and you basically do that.
Yeah. My kid just like makes do this and it's like, do it again, Dad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
My dog has great looking hair too. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 91. Great to see you all this evening. Talking Heads, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Sorry about the echo.
Echo.
Yeah, this room has worse echo than my last room did when it was completely empty.
This is a bit smaller, but I really like the lighting in this room a lot better.
I do. Yeah, the lighting is much improved. Even though I got to design the lighting in the last room, put in some new fixtures and whatnot, this one, it's much less stylistic. I don't have control over the coloring or anything like that, but there are no tripod lights here. There's no studio lights. This is just ambient lighting.
Yeah.
And it's a nice soft lighting effect. I do really enjoy it. So looking forward to shooting my first video in here hopefully tomorrow. Woo-hoo. So yeah, getting back in the swing of things. It's been literally a month since I shot a video. And I am chomping at the bit. I've got
I noticed. I was looking at that. I was like, Talking Heads. Oh,
yeah.
geez.
Yeah, and this is number 4 in a row since the last video. So new things are coming. So
stay tuned.
Why weren't you at LTX? Because I'm selling my house and moving. And my wife and I knew that was a pretty distinct possibility in the July timeline. And I didn't know where we would be at in the process. And as it turns out, we were moving the weekend before. So I'm really glad I didn't sign up to go to LTX. I will be there next year. So, period. I will be at LTX next year. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what the schedule is. We'll make it happen because it looked amazing and I'm super jealous of everyone that got to go. So, anyway, welcome to the show, everyone. If you're new to the show, what this is our once weekly 2-hour live show. We start with about 20 minutes of beer and alcohol-related news. We go into about an hour to hour and 20 minutes of tech, followed by about 20 minutes of pop culture, gaming, entertainment, things that we find relevant or interesting or
nerdy.
Star Trek. And if there's time, we do a little Q&A at the end. We do drink alcohol on the show, but we do try to keep it as family-friendly as possible, both language and content-related. Occasionally, we will slip up and swear a little bit, just a little bit, but we do try our very best to keep this as family-friendly as possible. So, thank you for joining us. What is on tap tonight?
Well, we got, we're getting, I was going to say, you said family friendly. I was going to say, we're getting stoned tonight, Jeff. But it's like, should I make that joke now? I thought, it's still fine, sure. But we are going to be trying a lot of Stone beers. And we got Stone's new Notorious POG. This is a Berliner Weiss with passion fruit, orange, and guava. I don't know why I was going to say porridge. And we got the brand new, speaking of Star Trek, Woot Stout 2019.
Yep, collaboration with Will Wheaton himself.
That's right.
Will Wheaton and who else was?
There's, I think, a comic artist.
Yeah, there's comic artists, there's Will Wheaton. It's a 3-way collaboration.
Yeah, and I don't know, Stone or...
Yeah.
Drew Curtis, Will Wheaton,
and Stone Brewing.
Yeah, Stone Brewing. So Greg Kolsch.
Yeah.
Kosh. However you pronounce his name.
Yeah. Coach, I'm going to say.
Coach.
Yep. So yeah, looking forward to this one, definitely. And then I went ahead and brought over an old classic. Got a left-hand Nitro Milk Stout. Fantastic beer, 6%, carbonated with nitrogen instead of carbon dioxide. Yep. Gets it a much creamier, smoother body to it.
This is the good man's Guinness.
Yes, exactly. But fantastic beer, and actually I was thinking back on it, I don't think we've had this on Talking Heads. I know I've had it on the show.
You've had it on a
before.
few times on the show. You even did like a pour.
Yeah, I did a pour video at one point. But Yeah, so looking forward to having that one as well.
Let us know what you're having in the chats while we pick out what do we want to drink, Jeff.
Actually, the Berliner Weiss. The notorious POG.
All right, let's do that one.
So glasses are as close to the normal place as usual. I do have coasters right underneath if you want to grab a couple.
Oh yes, this is not your regular table.
Not the regular table. This is the table that sat off to the left of me before.
Okay, so this is the non-stained.
Now, technically, this is a finished countertop. This is just an IKEA countertop. It does have a laminate coating to it, so it shouldn't absorb any liquid, unlike the last one. The last one is still in storage, and it will make a return when I have a more permanent home. So, that's Stone's notorious POG.
Yes.
A little bit lighter ABV at 4.7.
It is a bit warm, I apologize.
That's all right. Ooh, that is a mix of scents there.
You just trying to slam that down like a pog? Slammers!
Oh, that takes me back. We got James is having a two-hearted Guinness draft, carbonated with nitrogen also. Yeah, this is the proper man's Guinness, I guess you would say. A little bit more of a craft, less mass-produced. Guinness is still not a bad draft, but so similar idea. I do like this one more.
Yeah.
So
I think it's about a percentage higher than Guinness. Or I think Guinness is like 4.7 or something.
Yep.
I believe actually Guinness is also one of the lowest calorie beers out there.
Yeah. Super sour to me.
Okay. It is warmer than it probably should be.
It is definitely warmer than it should be. I'm trying not to hold that against
it.
Yeah,
well, I bought it at work today, and it sat in my car most of the day, so it got pretty warm.
Okay.
And it was only in the fridge from about 6:30, and then I popped it in the freezer for like 10 minutes, hoping it was cooled down even more. But I think the temperature will work well for the Woot Stout, but I think it's playing against this because this was amazing cold.
Yeah. The smell is the thing that's putting me off a little bit.
Really?
It is. I'm not sure what it is. It's half pleasant and half definitely not. And like I go, ooh. It's kind of that reaction. And I keep going back to it, and I keep smelling something I like, and then something I definitely don't. And I don't know why that is.
See, I equated this as smelling kind of like a car air freshener. So
yeah, I can get that.
You know, those tropical, like, oh, I recognize it. It's artificial.
Yeah,
but I recognize that.
And I think it's almost like a little bit of a chemical smell that I think might be putting me off. Like you said, car air freshener. Yeah. It's almost like plastic.
Yeah. Well, I think so. This beer was used to be exclusively done at their 10-barrel system in their Stone Garden Bistro. Mm-hmm. And this is the first, so I'm betting with that small of a system, they probably could do fresh fruit. Yeah. You know, or different. This big of one, I'm betting they probably had to scale it back with some artificial flavoring, concentrates. Yeah. Something. That probably could be the case.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, overall, it's not a bad beer. Like I said, the second half of the nose is kind of throwing me off. When I get into the flavor, I definitely taste everything there. I taste the orange juice, I taste the passion fruit, I taste the guava. Mm-hmm. The orange juice is the weird one for me because it tastes a very sour orange juice to me. Where the other flavors are fairly sweet. Well, I'm not getting an overall sweet drink with this.
Yeah, well, the Berliner Weiss is a tart wheat ale.
Yes.
So that's obviously where you're getting tartiness, and then orange usually already is very acidic. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm tasting a lot of that acid that you get in the New England IPAs and things like that. Not a lactose acid, but an acid nonetheless. Yeah. So I think colder, this would be a lot better.
Yes, if this was colder, this is supposed to be like lemonade temperature.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But speaking of like kind of interesting beers, so like I said, this was only exclusively done at 10 Barrels garden center, and the wood stout used to be a very limited release too. They only released it at their brewery, and even before, Left Hand wasn't even distributed here till a few years ago. It was hard to get these beers and this style of beers.
Sorry, I got a floaty.
It's fruit, fresh fruit.
No, I think it's something in the glass.
Oh, dirty glass. Probably during transport.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
A little fuzzy.
But even the beers we've had on before, we've traded with people.
Right.
And one of the state, and they're like, "Hey, what's the trade group? What's your favorite beer? I'm bringing beer from Oregon. What do you got? What do you have?"
Yeah, we've done that a number of times with people on the Discord and just random people we've met.
Yeah, and it was just like, "Hey, let's do some beer trades." Oh, okay, and then we message on a social media platform of some kind. Here's address we'll trade. Here's some pictures. Well, Facebook is actually going to be cracking down on that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think. They already have restrictions on the selling of alcohol through their marketplace.
Right. Marketplace selling alcohol will get you banned on the platform.
Yeah.
And so it's not recommended to do that.
No.
But now they are clamping down even further on just comments themselves.
Yeah.
So if you make a post about, hey, I wanted to trade some beer or ship beer or alcohol or liquors or wines or anything like that, Facebook is going to come clamping down on you.
Yes. Basically, I believe they're looking for anything of the ISO in search of, FT for trade, those little, shorthand indicators that a lot of people use for trading, which is kind of but they're saying that no, it's okay to still post pictures of people drinking or can art.
Sure.
Which I found so hilarious as they used Natural Day, the Natty Ice Strawberry Lemonade. Natter Day you can still post your Natter Day pictures. It's fine. It's like, no one's posting Natter Day pictures on these beer trade groups. So that's just, I don't know. I didn't like that. I even tried selling just my homebrew equipment, and they were docking me on that, saying that you're selling alcohol. I'm like, no. Right. Technically, all this stuff's separate. It can be used for anything it wants.
Right.
I could make beer with this.
Right. I happen to be distilling essential oils on it.
Yeah, I could just make hard, or not even hard cider, just cider. Boil it down. Cool it down. This is just, I could just make some kind of juice of any kind. The word brew is in it doesn't mean there's alcohol.
Right.
So, but I had to actually post my ad 4 times and talk to someone saying, no, this is totally fine, for them to be able to post it. So they are cracking down a lot really hard. But I will miss the trades because I'm actually part of a couple trade groups. Larger groups, and I've gotten a couple too.
Yep.
Because a lot of people love Oregon beers.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Sorry, just a funny comment. Trick Logic says, so I'm going through the VPN setup tutorial, and I used a script to create a VM with a randomly generated name, and of course the word selected ended up being craft. Perfect. It's nice to see I'm influencing a lot of things out there.
A random search of the words commonly you use. Craft.
Yeah, craft. Howdy from Trinidad, enjoying Fuller's Organic Honeydew. Nice. Luminescence by Sigmeister Brewing of New Jersey. I've not heard of that one before. Tropic Thunder. Gosling's Black Seal Rum for me tonight. I don't have anything against rum. Love me some rum. All right.
What?
Huh?
There's no rum in there?
No, I said I love me some rum.
Oh, I thought you were implying you didn't have it.
No, I've got like 8 bottles of rum in there.
That's why I was like, what?
I think rum is the second most popular spirit in my cabinet right now. Unfortunately, my gin is on short supply. I think I'm down to 4 bottles of gin. So I got.
How is that short supply? I'm like a third of a bottle of like, I'm on short supply now. Yeah.
I have 11 bottles of whiskey. Not even kidding.
Jeff's packing up, being like, no, I don't have a problem. I need more.
So all of the crap on my desk and all the parts that I have, it ended up being about 5 boxes worth of stuff. I had 6 boxes to pack up my bar.
And that was after him, like, I got to try our sample of this.
Right. That was actually me consolidating a couple
Yeah.
bottles. And what's really funny is I actually went through various parts of my house. And this is usually the sign of an alcoholic, but no, this was just me, like, collecting a bottle and putting it somewhere. I found 3 unopened bottles of liquor that I had opened in my cabinet upstairs because I thought I was out of it, and so I went and bought another bottle.
It's just in the back somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, one of them was up in the back of my my pantry. I found another one up on top of my fridge, and then I found another in the bottom of my cabinet. That was behind a bunch of other things. So it's like, oh, Jameson Black Barrel. Not even like cheap stuff, but like $35-$40. Like, oh, I forgot I had that. So that was fun. Anyway, speaking of getting into the beer,
getting into alcohol and spirits.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot of people. We were just talking about Will Wheaton is getting into beer. There's a lot of celebrities that do beer. There's a lot of bands that they produce their own beer or they sponsor beers or things like that. Well, I think even like Hanson has a beer.
I think Hanson has a beer. Obviously, Def Leppard, Metallica.
Yeah,
we've been into it for quite a while.
Yeah, so I would love to get me some hop.
How long have you been sitting on that one, Joe?
I just came up with that one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, you have the hair for it.
Yeah, to be in a Hanson tribute band.
You need a straightener first.
Yeah, whatever, it's fine. But legendary pro skater Tony Hawk is now apparently getting into the beer industry. Well, I think he's just doing a collaboration.
Yes.
But he's doing a collaboration with, what was they called? Black Plague Brewing. Black Plague Brewing, which is owned by another skateboard enthusiast brewery owner,
Jordan Hoffman.
Jordan Hoffman, that's right. I was going to say, and Jared Doss. And so they got, basically it is the, what's Tony Hawk's?
Tony Hops.
Yeah, Tony Hawk. So what is his brand? Birdhouse.
Yes.
Birdhouse, yeah. So it's called Tony Hop's Birdhouse IPA, 6.5% floral and citrus juice bomb. So kind of sounds like just a typical West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things though was that they said that Tony actually helped brew the beer. Like he would like grab the grain, put the hops in there, and everything like that. To where I'm pretty sure most of these other places are just, hey, can we use your name?
Right.
You know.
We have a brew and a funny name.
Yeah.
If you like it, we'll sell it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's if you guys are in Southern California.
Yep.
And you know about this brewery, the Black Plague Brewing, we'd love to try some.
I'd love a can.
Yeah, love a can. I do like some of their artwork. It's that very old, old doctor style.
Right. I love the bird skull and the old.
The doctor.
Yeah.
I forgot what they're called.
Yeah.
Steve probably knows what they are. He's that old.
The old Tribbley hat.
Yeah.
Yep. But no. It looks like a fine brew.
Yeah,
6.5% ABV. Like I said, probably just a nice standard West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
But I'd love to try it.
I'd love to try it. Yeah, I know. So,
P.O. box is in the description.
Just keep scrolling down. Or if you want to PM me and send it to me instead.
You know what? If you send us like 4 cans, I'll make sure John gets 2 and we drink 2 on the show.
There we go.
And you get a shout out on both channels.
Yes, you
There
do. You will. And then maybe we'll give like one to Steve. Mm-hmm. Let him try it.
Yeah, he can try it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can come over.
There we go.
And he'll probably end up coming over to both shows and be like, oh, free beer. All right. Well, that's it for beer news.
Yep.
I think we hit the 20-minute mark.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
8:20 on the nose.
We get a few complaints every now and then that we go long.
It's 23 minutes in and you guys are still talking about beer. What the hell? Did you not see the beer glass and the logo of the damn channel? Like, really?
There's intro, too. We do the intro.
Right. Just always blows my mind that people will watch my videos. They'll see the intro where I'm filling a beer glass with battery juice, and then they'll complain that I make a joke for like 15 seconds about beer in the video, or you get to the point. Enough of your hipster crap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What is going on with that?
That one, it's not showing up for me. Did it go down?
No, it's up over here. That's the Tom's Hardware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Oops.
Oh, you didn't.
I did not.
Okay.
Just minimize.
Oh, I was about to slap you. If you Alt-Tab.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, it just got moved. I don't know what that
No,
was.
I created another one.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting.
So
I don't know what the heck that was about.
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway, moving into some tech news. So, Ryzen 3000 series have obviously been predominantly in the news as of late. Obviously, the release of the CPUs is being received very, very well across the industry, both from retail and reviewers alike. There were 3 new SKUs that were announced by EEC. We have the Ryzen 9 3900, the Ryzen 7 3700, and the Ryzen 5 3500. So these are non-X SKU CPUs. They are a 12-core, 8-core, and 6-core respectively. And unfortunately, we don't know a lot of other information about them.
Yeah.
What we do know is the Ryzen 5 3500 is likely to come in at a much lower price point than the 199 Ryzen 3600. So this might be a boon for an entry-level gaming chip. And this is actually the one that I'm most interested in out of the bunch.
Kind of want to benchmark it.
Right. I'm really... As much as I really love high-end hardware, I also have a really soft spot for low-end hardware.
Well, bang for your buck is always
Bang for your buck's always a great thing, but getting yourself up and going with either used or brand new parts for as cheap as humanly possible. Even like I said, even though I have access to a lot of really high-end hardware, I still like tinkering at that low end. I still like
pushing that low end even to the limit.
Exactly.
You know, like, what can I do with it? I mean, who doesn't want, even like with cars? Like, I want to take my little crappy ¡85 Honda Civic and really push it to the limit.
Put an eBay turbo on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And really get this thing cranking. In fact, just this week, a buddy of mine had an old X58 system that he bought brand new in 2009. I helped him build it. He was still rocking an i7 920. With I think 12 gigs of RAM. This last week we bought him 24 gigs of 1866 megahertz Kingston HyperX. We got him an i7 976 core off of eBay for $55, and we also got a 1660 Ti. And so he took his old machine from 2009 and upgraded it to be entry level, 2019. Yeah. For a little over $300.
Right.
And while you probably could have spent, a
little more,
spent a couple $100 on a B450 motherboard and a Ryzen 5, 3500 or 2600X or something like that. There's just something cool about bringing a 10-year-old PC into new life.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, we got a pretty decent overclock out of it as well. So it's 6 cores, 12 threads. It's sitting at 4.2 gigahertz.
Oh, very nice.
At 1.3525 volts, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, how many of us, like you, me, Steve, our family members have hand-me-down like PCs that we've given to other people?
Look at what I did to Rhett's PC this last year.
That's what I was kind of talking about. Of just, there are these parts. Like, okay, but I only have $100, $200 to upgrade some of these parts. Mm-hmm. This might be a really good solution.
Right. So I'm hoping this comes in at somewhere around the $160 price point, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know the clock speeds on it yet, but we do know it's 6 cores, 12 threads. It's going to have the same 35 megabytes of cache and a 65 watt TDP. Now, the interesting thing about all of these chips is all of them have a 65 watt TDP. If you scroll down to the table there.
Oh yeah.
So that's including the Ryzen 7 3700 non-X, which is an 8-core, 16-thread, 65 watt. With 36 megs of cache, and then the Ryzen 9 3900, which is 12-core, 24-thread, also at 65 watts, and 70 megabytes of cache. So that is actually a pretty incredible deal right there as well. If you're looking for a high-end multi-threaded chip, maybe not the best in gaming performance, but if you're looking for like a video editing machine, that might be a great bang for the buck there as well.
Yeah, probably.
Coming in at a sub $300 price point.
Yeah.
For 12 cores, 24 threads. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to run the dang thing either.
No, all right. You don't need a big power supply of any kind.
Right.
So this is fantastic. Ryzen is just really coming out with basically everything you need,
right,
at all reasonable price points.
Right. We haven't even gotten into the 3950X
Yeah.
or Threadripper 3 or all of these other things that are gonna blow the doors off Intel's top end more than likely. So yeah. Exciting times for Ryzen. Definitely curious to see what price points these come in at. Now, it is worth noting that Ryzen previously had a 2500X with the Ryzen 2000 series that was not available at retail. That was only available as a bare chip to OEMs. So while the 3500, we're not sure if that's going to be available at retail, it also might make a nice lower price point for pre-built systems.
Yeah.
And some machines you see at Walmart or iBuyPower or
CyberPower
or the like that.
Those built for college kids, your mom or your desktop,
your
whatever.
Dells and your HPs of the world as well. So we might get a nice decent price point for entry on a 6-core 12-threaded system from an OEM as well.
Yeah,
because of all this. So very, very exciting times. That's definitely one chip I really want to keep my eye on though, is that 3600, because that might be one of the best bang for the buck chips that's out there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how long that'll last and see how long Ryzen, what they're going to come out in 4 years to even compete with that. To where no, this is still good.
Right.
I really want to see these things age because they really sound like they're going to age extremely well.
Yes, I think they will too. Speaking of that i7 system that I rebuilt, the X58, in 2009, by the way, this guy upgrades his PC once about every 10 years.
Sounds like me.
In 2009, he was still rocking a Pentium 3 800 megahertz system.
That was not me.
With I think he might have had a 3D Rage video card. It may be upgraded to like an NVIDIA 5200 or something like that. So that's an FX 5200. But look at the dichotomy of that 10-year gap versus this 10-year gap.
Yeah.
And that tells you all you need to know about where the market is at, and really where we're getting to a point where performance is less and less important. You can play on some lower end systems just fine. I mean, we just upgraded, yes, his 10-year-old system, but his i7-920 was no slouch in modern games either. He had originally a GTX 260 and later on a 960. And it was still playing a lot of games at 30 and 40 frames per second.
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't need to play...
Certainly showing its age.
Yes, but you don't need... I mean, if you're just a casual gamer and you want to pop on every now and then, you don't need to be playing at maximum quality every time.
Right.
You don't mind that, okay, I may lag a little bit behind the refresh rate of some kind, but I'm still enjoying playing.
Right.
Especially... I'm just maybe not sniper, but I'm just what's that guy called? Leroy Jenkins. And just running around shooting.
Jenkins!
And then, honestly, sometimes that's how I want to play.
Right.
I just want to play that suicide guy. I don't care about my kill to death.
Yeah.
I just want to run in there and you weren't expecting me! And that kind of disrupts that big classic gamer of I'm serious about who's this guy? And he gets frustrated. And then my team goes in and kills him because of it.
Yeah. I used to play online quite a bit. I really only play single player and local multiplayer anymore. And I've kind of regressed in what the trend was, because I played a lot of StarCraft in the late 90s, early 2000s. I played a lot of Counter-Strike online, a lot of Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2 online with a lot of Masashi.net mods and whatnot. And as the years went on, I started playing online less and less. And I think it's because, number one, I get frustrated. And I play games to relax, but I get hyper competitive and I want to win.
Yeah. And
all I end up doing is frustrating myself, because either I blame it on lag, or I blame it on this, or I blame it on that, or I blame it on my own ineptitude. Because I'm decent at games. I'm not the greatest ever. I just do it because I enjoy it. But really, as of late, it's been years since I've played online on anything besides maybe Rocket League with some friends or things like that. And honestly, while my primary gaming PC now has a 9900K and a RTX 2080, I don't need that.
Yeah, right? I mean, half the stuff you're playing, like you said, Rocket League, Doesn't need it.
No. I've actually been playing Rocket League on the Switch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I certainly don't need it. Anyway, moving on here. So, shh.
Don't say anything. They're listening. They're listening, guys.
They can hear you because of the echo.
So Siri.
Yeah. So remember in 1984 and a little bit further on where they're saying, don't let the government put listening devices in your home. And you fast forward to 2016 and 2017 and Amazon, Google, Apple are going, hey, buy this listening device for $149.
Yeah. It will let you know everything in your life, what's going on. You just talk to it and it listens to you constantly.
Right.
Yeah, that'll never go wrong.
Right. So, look, we know that a device that's waiting for, hey Siri, okay Google, Alexa, whatever, they're listening to you all the time for that key phrase. And it's machines, so they're not going to hear it perfectly 100% of the time. Sometimes you're going to have to say Alexa twice. Sometimes you don't have to say it at all, and it'll just start recording and listening.
I think the Xbox didn't have the Xbox Live or Motion or whatever. The TV would turn it on.
Right.
There was someone was watching TV and they were saying, "Hey, Xbox Live" or something like that, and then their Xbox Live turned on.
Well, do you remember there was a spate of advertisements? I think Burger King had one, and there was another company that had one. That at the end of their ad, they would say, "Alexa, show me Burger King's current menu," or something like that. And so anyone watching TV, it would trigger their phones to take them to Burger King's website and show them coupons.
Yeah. And
that was just a thing. Now, they stopped doing that because there was a lot of public pressure on that. But
that's how vulnerable these
right,
things
your
are.
devices are
fragile, technically.
Yeah, your devices are always listening. Even my device, which I have not set up Hey Google on, or Okay Google, if I say okay Google, okay Google, okay Google, okay Google, okay Google.
Well, this backfired.
Okay. The other day, I said it like 4 times in a row, and it said, "Would you like to set up okay Google?"
It's still...
So I haven't set it up, and it wants me. It's still listening. It's still listening. Exactly. So Apple is under a little bit of fire right now because in a recent report from contractors, it says Apple has basically recorded a lot of different things. Now they're using the typical buzzwords in a title to get you to click on it. Doctor's appointments, sex, fights, etc.
Yeah.
And contractors are hearing these conversations. There's some people who aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, the title's totally clickbait.
The title is very much clickbait because those are the things that's like, well, this is a
I want to read this.
Right, well, this is a HIPAA violation and whatnot. Or, oh, they're listening to my affairs, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. They're listening to you regardless. It just happens to be what triggered Hey Siri that started the recording, So...
Yeah, in this article they talk about technically we only actually get that happening about 1% of the time. Mm-hmm. That's a very exaggerated. I'm betting it's way more than that.
Right.
And they're claiming it on stuff like shuffling in your pants or someone just saying hey, something with the name of Siri, but Sarah, Sam, something like that. Right. But the guy has a slang to it.
Yeah.
They're equating it. It almost sounds like Apple is just really pushing hard. No, we're safe. And we have strict disclaimers with the people that we hire out to listen with these. So they'll never reveal anything.
Yeah. And
where all of these articles come from whistleblowers.
Right.
So, they'll happen.
Hey, Reverend, go ahead and just ban Bongo. If you get 5 or 6 chats deleted in a row, you're just gone. So go ahead and ban him if you're listening.
Well, he was just constantly talking about poo.
Yeah.
We are not fans of poo or poo talk.
Yeah. We're done. Go away.
Poo.
Sorry, and sorry when you're distracting me from the show because I see deleted message deleted. Just you're done. All right.
Yeah, well, I don't think Hey Siri works when you type it, though.
No, I don't think it does. Yeah.
So yeah, this is just any one of our smart devices. They're all listening now. That's I don't carry any of them around. Even though half the time I plug my phone when I get home and kind of like it's in a different room.
Yeah.
You know, I actually charge my phone in like the back bedroom that there's nothing on or ever around.
Yeah.
I do have it set off, and I know there are ways to like you can really go in and set it off, or you just say don't listen. But.
Right. Yeah. Both of our phones charge in our bedroom. Me and my wife, but neither one of us have voice commands enabled at all. Although, like I found out, if I say "Okay Google" enough times, "Okay Google" will come
Okay
up.
Google. I'm just gonna try it once. I'm not gonna be like you.
Yep. I was hoping they would pop up.
Yeah.
Because it did pop up. It said, "Would you like to set up OK Google?" Or "OK Google needs to learn your voice so it can more appropriately respond." So
no, I remember setting it up for
I'm sure someone's phone, by the way, is going nuts right now with the number of times we said OK Google.
Yeah. Or later on when they rewatch this, it's like, shut up, guys, unsubscribe.
God, son.
That would be a thing we should randomly from now on all talking heads just be like, "Okay Google, hey Siri."
Subscribe to Craft Computing.
Yeah, you know. Oh, I'm gonna do that for Hops and Bruce.
There you go. Nice.
All right. Before we get to the next article, Jeff, another beer?
Yes, absolutely.
What stout would you like to go with?
Ooh. Well, seeing as this is a barrel aged, I think this one should warm up a little bit more.
One-third barrel aged.
One-third barrel aged.
One-third barrel aged.
Will Wheaton's part of it was barrel aged.
Yeah, probably. This is a pecan...
Stout brewed with pecans, wheat and rye, one quarter aged in bourbon barrels.
Sorry, 1/4, even less.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Will Wheaton said, "You're not doing anything unless it's barrel aged."
Probably.
So good on you, Mr. Crusher. Yeah, do you want to let this one warm up a little bit more and maybe go for the milk?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's do that.
We can finish on this one.
Yeah, we'll finish with the Woot Stout.
Finish this one.
In fact, I do have some nice stout glasses right up there.
Well, we got two, so we get two more after that,
Yep,
too. So.
exactly.
We'll be good.
Good for you.
Thanks, sir. Now, if you have seen Jeff's channel, or if you haven't seen Jeff's video on how to pour this, Nitro Stouts pour a little differently.
Yep. So, you want to show one way and I'll do the other? Because I'll get this one. There it goes. So, pour vigorously is pretty much the...
Just straight down.
Yep.
And actually, you might want to turn on your other camera.
Yeah, I was going to hit that as soon as I got it. Because I got to show that cascade effect.
Yeah, and that's the...
For a second after you pour it. Let
that
cascade finish up.
Yeah, you want that cascade to finish up. You will get, that head will be extremely creamy and very fine bubbles. And that's what will give you that creaminess.
Yeah. So see that real traditional Guinness style head? That's how you get that on one of these beers. I've seen so many people try to pour a Guinness and they just kind of like, do an IPA pour on it where it's right down the side of the glass and maybe a little flourish at the end. But and they end up with like a little 1/16 of an inch of a head on top of it, and then it's this overly carbonated kind of weird texture to it.
So I guess when you switch over to that camera, the audio cuts out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Haha. I can fix that. It's going to take me... Of course, cancel. All right. Now we should be good.
All right.
Where did our... There it is. Okay.
There you go.
I'm sure that was a great view of me. Yeah.
And that's the thumbnail.
Yep. Totally. If it's available, I will select that as the thumbnail. Anyway, I showed the cascade of bubbles flowing down the side of the glass. That's exactly what you should see. And then let it rest, and you will get this perfectly creamy head right on top.
Yeah, it should become like a thumb size head.
Yeah.
Inch ahead, little over inch.
Yep.
So, cheers, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that chocolate.
Oh, that's good. That's a good stout. So the difference between I think this and Guinness, this has body.
Yes.
This has body.
Yeah.
A little more chocolate too. But that body really helps with that.
Real nice dark chocolate.
Yes, it's a real nice dark chocolate, and that cream on top just almost kind of gives it like a s'more marshmallow.
Yes.
Type thing. It's nice.
Yep. So anyway, be careful about your digital assistants. We've talked about this on the show before, but they are always listening. They are microphones that's waiting for a cue to record, and in fact, during the times that they're even not cued, they may start recording because they want to know, hey, did someone say, hey, Alexa, and I didn't pick up, or was I mistaken? So... and that audio data, while not personally identifiable to you, as far as Apple goes, they did confirm in the article that they do have the current applications that are installed on your device, as well as location information.
Oh.
So while you're not personally identifiable as John Smith or Mike Smith or whoever you happen to be, it knows where you're at and what apps are installed on your device. So... That's
even kind of worse. Right. In some ways.
Right.
So...
While I was researching this, I happened to go into Google Maps historical data while I was logged into my account. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. That's freaky as hell. Really? Yeah. It shows you everywhere you've been over the life of your phone. To the day, and in fact there was one in particular trip. I wish I could show it, but I don't want to give away my home address, where I'm like, there was this one dot that was way out of place. And I'm like, when the heck did I drive there? That's just this really weird road. Like, why would I go on that road? And I clicked on it, and it was a winery, and I went, oh, I went and watched Steve Hofstetter when he was in Salem. Yeah. And he did a show out in the middle of nowhere. It was like 4 or 5 miles outside of Salem on this really weird back road. And I went, okay, cool. Well, I clicked on it, and it showed me not only the route that I took there. So it showed us going down I-5 and then over across Salem and then up into the winery. It told me how long I was at the winery. It then showed the road that we drove back, which was a different road. And it also showed that we stopped at 7-Eleven because my wife wanted a bottle of water. and then all the way back home. And it had times and dates and locations. And I went, that is freaky. Yeah. I went back and I looked at the times I was in CES, and it showed me the path that I walked and drove and everything that I was in CES. Yeah. It had every hotel and how far I walked in those hotels and where they were at and what times I was there. That was weird. I don't like that, and I will be turning off location history on my device very soon. Yeah, I know. Well, I do turn off GPS like constantly on mine. I was like, unless I absolutely need directions, I do not like having GPS locator on my phone, computer, or anything. Yep. I try to turn all of that stuff off. Yep. So, yeah, I didn't realize I had location history enabled inside of Google, and that one was a little bit freaky to say the least. Raspberry Pi 4. Yep. I do plan on buying at least a couple of these. I do have a couple projects in mind. But there is a new firmware that was released that does enable overclocking. And in fact, exciting. Some industrious overclockers managed to hit 2 gigahertz on the new firmware. Yes. Up from the 1.5 base. So there's a 1.5 base, and I think the stock overclocking they were along was 1.75? 1.7, I think. 1.7, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So they've unlocked the multiplier on it now, up to 2 gigahertz, and you do need active cooling, as you could probably imagine. Yeah. The package is getting a little bit too intense because the original Raspberry Pi came at 700 megahertz, and you could just switch it in the firmware up to 1 gigahertz, and you didn't have to do anything else because the chip was still running at 30C.
Yeah.
And so it was a very easy overclock to do that. Everyone did. When the Raspberry Pi 2 came out, it was running, I believe, at 1 gigahertz or
1.2
or 0.9, I think.
What was it?
And you can go to
I think
it was 900 megahertz, and you can go to 1.1 or 1.2. Raspberry Pi 3 came out at 1.2, and that's it. It didn't have overclocking. So Raspberry Pi 4 now with a little bit better package.
Yeah.
2 gigahertz.
Yeah. Well, I know the 3B plus or 2B. I think it was the 3B plus. You could get it up to.
Yeah, you could overclock the 3B plus.
Yeah, you can overclock the 3B plus, and that one I think like they were saying steady 1.5 is really where you want to keep it. Anything above that was, depending upon the app, you would be crashing, and then at 1.5 they recommend cooling.
Yeah, with the 3B Plus, I believe they enabled overclocking because they started putting the heat spreader over the top of the chip.
Yeah.
Before that, it was just a bare
chip.
The top package.
Oh.
So you weren't cooling bare silicon, and it really didn't need any active cooling. I mean, it was hitting 80C, but it wasn't like in danger of melting down, even in a closed environment. When they started cranking a little bit more voltage into it to get some higher clock speeds, they required a metal cooler top instead of just the wafer top that was on it. The Wi-Fi and Bluetooth also has an integrated heat spreader now as well.
Oh, cool.
So, but yeah, 2 gigahertz, seeing about a 33% improvement in single core speeds just with the 1.5 to 2 gigahertz bump. So, pretty impressive gains. And I'm actually kind of curious on Raspberry Pi's claims of you can use this as a daily driver workstation. Basically, they said the only thing we see as a hindrance is high-end gaming and video editing. But as far as standard desktop tasks...
Well, which is actually very funny because when the Raspberry Pi, or just before that, the 3B Plus, I suggested doing that to some of our lower end salesmen or employees who just need browser and an emailer and something that's similar to Word. That's all they need.
Right.
And I suggested, hey, let's just switch everyone over to Pis. And then I think he loved that. And 3 weeks later, this came out. I was like, this is even better, and this is the same price point. So I am, same as you, really looking forward to buying some of these. They do have the 4.0 or the 4 gig on Amazon right now.
Yes.
It's a little spendier.
It's $55, and that is honestly the one I would recommend for this project because desktop environments, and especially if you get into video streaming and things like that, getting onto YouTube, that's going to take some more memory. It's going to take a little bit more horsepower.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, they have the 2 gig up for $50, and the 4 gig is actually going right now for $100. So it's a little more...
It's still inflated, and I think that's because quantities in low supply.
Yes, exactly. So.
The price points are $35 for the 1 gig, $45 for the 2 gig, and $55 for the 4 gig.
And once that really hits the masses, I think that 4 gig, I don't even know why they bother with it. I think it's just to keep that price point, that promise.
No, I don't think that's the case. Honestly, the idea of the 1 gig still selling for $35, it's probably for the price point, but also if you're just doing an integrated controller where you're just booting up to terminal and then running a microcontroller, doing some Arduino-like tasks, 1 gig of memory is plenty for things like that. It's only when you get into the GUI and gaming and web browsing and video streaming that you need more than that 1 or 2 gigs worth of memory. Like I said, I'm probably going to pick up at least a couple of the 4 gig models.
Oh yeah, we're getting. I'll at least be getting 2. What I'm really looking forward for retro-pying actually.
Yep.
You know, putting just some video games-esque and seeing comparable to this, and then also one being a desktop replacer is what I'll probably end up doing too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of want to explore the desktop replacement, possibly as hey, let's throw the Steam Link app onto it, and possibly do some remote gaming.
So you want this to be your Steam box?
Yeah, I want that to be my Steam box and desktop browser and whatnot.
Yeah.
And maybe do a server solution for a gaming system with a bunch of Raspberry Pis as clients.
Yeah.
Maybe with some NVIDIA Teslas. Maybe.
Yeah, and some fake money.
speaking of some high performance, low cost hardware, there's one name that I never expected to get into the CPU landscape, and that is probably Alibaba. So Alibaba has announced that they have, quote, the world's fastest open source RISC-V processor yet. It is a 16-core, 64-bit, 2.5 gigahertz, 12 nanometer chip, which does out-of-order execution. And what they're hoping to do is integrate this into FPGAs, so you can program this to do basically anything you want.
Yeah.
So John, are you familiar with FPGAs?
I am actually not.
Okay. The cool thing about FPGAs is, let's back up. With standard CPUs, they have instructions that are hard-coded into them. They have transistor gates and/or gates that are programmed in, so you can only give them certain instructions. FPGAs are chips that are programmable. They're fully programmable instruction sets.
Okay.
And so you can take the popular use for them right now is Intel backed a project, and I'm forgetting the name of the chip, and I'm going to kick myself later. But Intel backed a project that has an ARM processor mounted with an FPGA on it that people are using for not just device emulation, but recreating original consoles based on the original console logic. And so, and they've got it running all the way up through Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1 at this point, where they're basically reverse engineering the original chips on the consoles, using an ARM processor to power it, but the FPGA is the actual instruction processor.
So it thinks it's that original processor.
It thinks it's that original processor, and in fact, it acts like that original processor, including the original bugs from that processor, the original performance slowdowns from that processor.
Gosh.
It runs identically to the original hardware. And so for games preservation and console libraries and things like that, it is really a boon for things like that. The fact that Alibaba is taking, and by the way, that Intel project is a 4-core ARM processor that's running an FPGA that's capable of running a PlayStation at native speeds.
Wow.
They're looking at mounting a 16-core, 2.5 gigahertz RISC-V processor onto an FPGA and doing something even more dramatic with it. And I'm sure the gamers will latch onto this like crazy.
Oh, I was about to say, it's like I can already, the fact you were mentioning is like I can already see PlayStation 2, original Xbox was already coming to mind.
Right, and there's really two minds of or ways of thinking about this. If all you want to do is just sit down and play the games, go get a Raspberry Pi, build yourself a RetroPie, and you're done. Just play in the emulator that is basically an interpreter for the original code, and you're running it through the ARM processor. If you want as close as you can get to the original experience, which is not emulated, non-square pixels, original outputs, original composite and component outputs, original bugs, original glitches, original, like I said, slowdowns, and playing as close to the native hardware as you can, FPGA really is the answer to that. The other cool thing about this Intel project is they actually have a 486 SX processor emulated. So you can play inside of a natively installed DOS operating system at about 33 megahertz on a 486 processor. And so there are people running Windows 95 on FPGAs and ARMs at native speeds.
Is that just for pure nostalgia?
For pure nostalgia. But actually, you laugh at that. I'm actually of the nostalgia where I would love the mid-90s experience on an emulation, because that's something that really doesn't exist. There's a couple of... I don't want that. It's not CEMU, that's the Wii U emulator, but there's an emulation project out there that tries to emulate the raw hardware of the Intel Pentium processors and things like that. Wow. There's some games in that era that are not playable on modern machines because they use 16-bit instructions, which are not interpretable inside of a 64-bit system. And so I'm thinking about games like the original Atomic Bomberman.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of very early Windows 95 DirectX games and OpenGL games. There's a couple that have recently been figured out through Good Old Games, through different plugins and wrappers and whatnot. Requiem Avenging Angel is another one. That was a late Windows 95 game that I believe ran on DirectX 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, but the thing is though, all these emulations and the modern game or old games that you play, and the reason why I feel people emulate those games too is I do kind of I understand the nostalgia. But it's like, I want to play it that one time. Okay, my nostalgia's done because I hated that boot time.
Yeah.
I hated click.
Oh, and by the way,
I'm going to go get a drink now.
By the way, part of FPGAs, like I said, it comes with the original speed. So if you're emulating a floppy drive inside of an FPGA, you are running at the native input speed of that floppy drive.
That's what I don't want. I mean,
which is about 20 kilobytes a second.
Yeah, so I get the nostalgia part. Okay, let's do this one time. I'm going to show everyone. This is what I grew up with.
Right.
You're lucky what you have now on your phone. And then, but late at night, okay, I want to play a game. I'm not waiting for this. I don't care about pixels that much.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are some nostalgic parts of my brain that wants to play the original, Chris Roberts, Star Citizen, not Star Citizen, the Space Commander games.
Commander Keen?
No, not Commander Keen. That's Bethesda.
Oh, yeah.
Or id Software.
Yeah.
Someone help me out. Good Lord. PCEMU. That's the emulator I was thinking of. That's trying to emulate the original Pentium and whatnot generation hardware. They also have PCEMU also has a pretty good Apple II Elite. Thank you.
Elite.
The original Elite.
Yes.
I'd love to play through those again.
Yes. Okay. But what I'm saying is that first probably initial loading of the game, and then if you're in the middle of it, you're gonna get frustrated because in the middle of the night, during that time that you have, that free time that us as adults now have, is a lot different than what we did back when that game was available.
Oh, it's totally true. But once I've set up DOS and once I've installed the games, I can load them up and just play them and play them as natively as humanly possible.
But then,
and there's something to me that speaks very deeply to.
I get it. I think the first load. Okay, this
John,
is
why are your fridges bottle machines?
It's
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I have 2 retro bottle machines. But they were the same price. Yeah, okay, whatever.
It's the same thing. You could have a lot more space in the same size fridge.
Yeah.
But you have bottle machines instead. So there's something about that speaks very deeply to you.
Okay.
I want my original speed DOS machines.
I concede.
Okay.
I concede.
Thank you.
I concede. That's a good point.
But this game, you're not going to see it up here. Actually, I think I do have the window up. One Must Fall. It's an old BattleBot style fighting game. It's a heck of a good time. One Must Fall 2097. It's actually got some RPG elements to it where you're upgrading your armor and weapons and things like that. And it's Street Fighter level combat. Yeah. But the idea of it is you're a little pilot inside of a mech warrior kind of thing. You're going out and doing BattleBot style. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. And I love that game. And that game is playable inside of DOSBox, but there's some games from that era that are not playable inside of DOSBox. Yeah. Or have so many glitches or weird things that aren't native to the experience that it just makes it not fun.
Yeah.
Epic Mega Games, Jazz Jackrabbit, Wing Commander. Wing Commander is the one I was thinking.
Okay.
Elite was the other.
I was gonna say Wing Commander. I didn't know Elite, but I was just playing along. Wing Commander, I do know.
Yes.
They made that really crappy movie out of it too.
Yes, they did.
Ron Howard was in Wing Commander.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were one of the first to actually do like movie quality, like reels or videos in between shots, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It was pretty interesting because like that was right around the StarCraft Warcraft era, like 95, 96.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, Wing Commander goes back to 89, I want to say.
Really?
They had a number of them. Because there was Wing Commander, there was Privateer, there was, I think there were 4 or 5 of them, and then they finally hit with, was it Mercenary? Was the Windows 95 based one?
Is that the one where it has like the tiger face guy and then Mark Hamill with the goatee?
Yeah. And there's, There was one for Windows 95 or Windows 98 that was a mouse based, but it was all 3D rendered graphics, and that one was a lot of fun as well. Yeah, Mark Hamill was a voice actor in Wing Commander.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So.
And he is motion captured for Star Citizen if that ever comes out. But anyway, yeah. So Alibaba creating a 16-core RISC-V processor running at 2.5 gigahertz that they're hoping to match to an FPGA. The possibilities for, honestly, for modern tasks are pretty well endless, but especially for emulation, console preservation, software preservation, you get into some very interesting talks about that as well. Because if you have enough horsepower in the ARM processor, you can do whatever you want on the FPGA side. Because all of the, and especially with the out-of-order execution, because the FPGA is just going to feed the ARM things to process through, and it's just going to feed it a steady stream. And if you have 16 cores to chug through it, and then you can throw out the results in the order that they're expected in, you can do almost anything you want.
Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what'd be interesting is doing this, but you do this more as an emulation for arcades to resurrect classic arcades.
Yes, absolutely.
You no longer need those retro parts. You can pretty much get to the same speeds. A lot lighter internal equipment, and I mean, you're just building the board, the frame, the case, and the artwork. You don't need that to be original, but the internal hardware runs almost the same. You can have pretty close to original specs and runs.
Right.
If you want that original feel like the Donkey Kong runs.
Yeah.
Where it arrows out at the back end, the level 99 or whatever. And
Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter, the original arcade release of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Get your fighter games where there were certain glitches in the game that were exploited by players that are not doable inside of emulation.
No. Unless it's pre-programmed, and it's even easier then because they're like, here's how you do it.
Right, but no, there were frame-perfect exploits in a lot of those fighter games that had to be done then. And with an FPGA, you're back to frame-perfect emulation. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of possibilities there. Very curious to see where that goes. And bravo AliExpress or Alibaba.
Possibly another Chinese Alibaba versus Wish.
Oh, heck yeah. Alibaba, obviously.
Speaking of gaming,
John, what operating system do you run on your Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably Nintendo's.
Probably Nintendo's. Yes, I actually. Sad to say, I haven't touched my Switch in a while.
Yeah, I've actually been playing mine a lot lately, and it's because a lot of my gaming PCs have been down. So I've been, and I've had a little bit of downtime, not nearly enough to film a video or do any benchmarking or anything like that, but enough downtime to, I want to play Rocket League for 20 minutes or Mario Odyssey or whatever the case may be. Anyway, a industrious group of hackers have ported Lineage OS 15.1, which is Android 8.1 based, and you can now install that on your Nintendo Switch.
Yes, you can.
And the cool thing is, it's running very, very well. So well, in fact. And by the way, that's the old CyanogenMod guys are the ones behind this.
Weren't they the ones that found that they could do the actual hardware hack too?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, it's running so well that you can run games that require the Tegra hardware to be natively found on your Android phones. And you can use that to play Doom, Half-Life 2, as well as Borderlands on your Switch. Which, there's no other game that I would rather have on my Switch than Borderlands.
That one actually probably would be pretty fun.
Yeah. That would be awesome. And honestly, all those commercials that they show of all the people our age getting together with a Switch and playing, the ARMS or whatever the crappy games are, I would totally get together with a bunch of Switches and play Borderlands all day long. That's what I want to do. So it is not perfect. When you attach an Android, or when you attach a charging cable, sometimes it recognizes that it's a charging cable, and other times it doesn't.
Still charges.
Still charge. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, it says No, it says it charges. It says
doesn't detect the fact that
just
it's charging.
Just doesn't detect it. Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Good luck. Doesn't sleep.
So you're not going to get the battery life that's on the Switch now. Not super great.
Right.
Not even going to get even worse.
But we're talking like playtime of the Switch.
Yeah.
That's your battery life.
Yeah.
So like plug it in, charge it, take it off. You have 7 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just leave it plugged in.
Right. Docking may not work properly all the time, so you might have to try it 2 or 3 times. Yeah. I can't have the hiccups already. It's 9 o'clock. Gosh.
The auto rotate doesn't actually work at all, and the Joy-Cons taking them in and out, not really. Only on certain games, the FAT32 partition doesn't really work so well. I think there was even one other thing too. I forgot what it was. It was kind of interesting. I'm betting that the new ones probably will have already figured a way around this.
Yes, and we talked a little bit about the new Nintendo Switch is likely not being exploitable.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we talked about the original Nintendo Switch exploit, which was based on the Tegra X1 hardware, I believe. There was a hardware level vulnerability found, which basically put the Switch into recovery mode, and it was not software patchable because it's a BIOS boot level attack. So you can put the Switch into recovery mode, you can flash whatever firmware you want, boot it off an SD card, and you're done.
Yep.
So simple your mother could probably do it.
Well, but yeah.
From what I've heard, it's probably simple enough your mother could probably do it with the right instructions laid out in front of you. Tegra X1. So we debated that the new revision of the hardware, the reason that they're coming out with a new Switch with improved battery life, with potentially new innards, as well as the Switch Mini or whatever the new Switch, the new little one is called. Likely, they also revised the hardware to make it not exploitable anymore. So your first gen Switches, if you want to hack it, it's probably the only way to go.
Yeah, and so
at least for right now.
For right now, and the new ones will probably get hacked, but
huh?
I
said yep.
Oh yeah,
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, I thought you said no. I was like, no, of course you know that they're gonna get hacked eventually. But I think though the original ones, because we have Generation 1s.
Yes.
And I think they're probably going to go up in value for if we wanted to sell them.
Right.
Or retain the value, I guess, that they have because of the hackability. We can sit there and say, Gen 1, unhacked, still good to go. I want $4.99 for this.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll go up that high, and especially they won't go up that high if the new one is able to be hacked.
Well, that's the thing. So I think between that 2 points, there's going to be a surge in the market of just similar how the original Wii was, and the Wii U of unhacked or hacked Wii for sale, whatever price, or original one, hackable Wii. Here you go, give it to me. I'll hack it for $100. Or there's going to be There's going to be people saying, I'll hack your Wii or your Switch for $200. Give me $200. I'll hack it for you.
Right. Yeah, that happens all the time on Craigslist. I see it constantly. I will say I do not condone piracy. I do not I do condone hacking, but for homebrew and experimentation use, not for I want to download unlimited free games or things like that. But I will say all of my previous generation Nintendos, they're all modified.
Yeah.
So I can play on original hardware. Games that I never got to play when I was a kid. So I have a modified 3DS. I have a modified Wii. And I have a lot of systems within those as well. Yeah. So on my Wii, I've also got a modification so I can play GameCube games on it.
Yeah.
So I can play all the GameCube games that I never got to play, or all the ones that I either have or don't have anymore, or things like that. Honestly, it's not costing Nintendo anything. It's not costing me anything. I'm fine with that. Yeah. I don't condone doing it on new hardware though. So just so we're clear. Come after me, Nintendo, if you want.
I'm going to be surprised that one exec from Nintendo is like one of your subscribers.
One of my subscribers, Oh no, he hacked his original DS. What are we going to do?
We're going after him, guys. Let's do this.
Exactly. But it's really so I can give my kid and here's 50 games, go play.
Well, that's the thing too. Is actually I'm noticing a lot of parents or people even at my work when like those new classic systems have come out, like, oh, I bought that for my kid because I want my kid to play what I play.
Yes.
And it's really, I mean, to me it's so mind-boggling. Like, there are ways to get more games cheaper. Yeah. But I'm not going to tell you that. But
right.
It's just like a little research maybe on your part.
Yeah.
Google something.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we both have RetroPies.
Yeah.
We both got,
Yep. So yeah.
And it's not like Nintendo has never made money off me.
Right. I know. We buy enough from them.
Yes.
Even just buying that and then the new games, they've already made, $1,000 off me.
I'm probably $700 or $800 into my Switch.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of like, I wanted that game when it came out, first day.
Yeah.
These are my core games.
Not that Nintendo games go on sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there are core games I buy. And I don't really care how much they are. Yeah, as long as they're within that Nintendo price point.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna buy Zelda.
I'm gonna buy
all the DLC for it.
I'm gonna buy Mario. Yeah. I'm gonna buy. I usually buy Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. It's because I have nephews and nieces come over. Okay, this is the perfect game for them.
Yep. I don't have Smash Brothers yet. I do have Mario Kart 8. I do have Odyssey.
Yeah.
I even bought new Mario Brothers U because I love that series. I love the new Mario Brothers series. It was way too expensive, but I did.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like, if Metroid came out, like, I'm gonna buy Metroid.
Yep. Gonna get Metroid.
So.
Yep. Anywho, there it is. Sorry, I lost my cursor for a second.
Oh, okay.
So we have a 4K screen up here, and then I've got a 1440p screen down here.
It is a bit. It's a new studio. And it's a different setup, so it's kind of like my eyes are wandering.
I'm losing my mouse occasionally. Yeah.
So, but some interesting things are actually coming out of Sony, and it's might be not what you think.
Right. I was shocked twofold on this one. Number one, that it was Sony, and number two, the method in which they were gathering funds.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of the same thing too. 3, though, I was like, I'd buy that.
If it works.
I'd buy that.
Right. So we are talking about Sony's new endeavor in crowdfunding, which I have a serious problem with well-established 100-year corporations crowdfunding. You have the resources. You have the resources for R&D to invest. Crowdfunding is for things that
the startup company
we don't have the resources to invest. We have the idea, we have the patent, we have the blueprints, but we don't have the credit or the capital or anything established to be able to run our first 1,000 units, and that's where you guys come in. Sony, you could piss $1 billion by lunchtime, and I don't think too many people would notice.
Yeah.
So I do have a problem with large multinational corporations crowdfunding. It's not something you guys should be doing. But this idea is actually fairly cool. Sony is crowdfunding a wearable air conditioner. Basically, it is a Peltier cooler that mounts to the top of your spine and is supposed to reduce your interpreted temperature by 23 degrees or raise it by 14. And the whole idea of it is actually pretty intriguing. This is something that a lot of people have toyed with before, but they've never had a lot of the technology required or the wattage output and input required for it. But it is kind of a tested system of, if you want to cool down, put something near the base of your spine, get the blood flow going in and out of your brain to cool down, and your body will cool down or warm up, as it were. Now, a 23 degree drop in your body temperature or in your interpreted temperature, that's pretty significant.
It is. I think that's one of the biggest ones I've ever heard of.
That's taking a 93 degree room and feeling like you're in a 70 degree room.
I know. I was sitting there thinking because actually it's very funny, is they're working on the AC units in my office right now. And my office is one of the ones that got the AC cut off.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my computers have heated my room up to like 80, 90 degrees. And I leave work just beads of sweat coming down.
Which, by the way, we have central air here for the first time.
Oh, yeah. I it kicked down early. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. We also have a ceiling fan above us. So we are staying quite cool in this room, and I could not be happier at the moment.
Yes.
And my new house will have central air.
So, so I was like, oh, I'd love to have this. And then, you know what my other thought was, you know who else would love this? Goth people. Goth people would love this, so they could wear black outside all the time.
You get that leather trench coat.
Get that leather, and they can keep it that way.
Yeah.
They can go to the beach and still rock the leather, the big overcoat and everything. Just still be like, oh yeah, it's only 60 degrees out here, guys.
Goth people, so cool right now.
The checkout mini split system. What's a mini? We'll look at it later. So stupid jokes. But no, I think this will be interesting. I actually kind of am. They didn't mention a price point. At least I don't remember seeing one of what this might go for. The device. Oh, okay. So the device starts at about $117. So, and it runs off Bluetooth off an app on your phone that you can start off with a 24-hour battery life, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So, and I do believe you have to probably buy their proprietary shirt.
Right. Or at least something.
At least some form of pocket, because it looks like the shirt has a pocket on it too. Yeah. But still, for $117 for a 24-hour AC unit.
It says 24-hour life is for the Bluetooth connection in an update. You'll only be using this for short bursts, but that might be enough for a lunch meeting or a walk to work. So maybe an hour to 90 minutes of work.
Maybe. Okay.
But at the same time, if you get a nice, lithium-ion rechargeable 10,000 milliamp battery, plug that in and
let it go. Yeah.
You keep two or three of those on you.
Yeah. And this is Gen 1 if it continues to grow.
Sorry, I'm trying two conversations at once.
And I see something about co-host, but that's cool, whatever.
Yeah. I'll talk to you.
That's fine. All right.
Someone giving the Hacksmith a shout out. Yep, I do enjoy the Hacksmith. Oh, the Hacksmith is watching. What's up, Hacksmith? How's it going, buddy? I watch you all the time. Thank you for checking me out. That's awesome. Welcome to the show.
I don't know who he is.
You don't know? Okay.
Should I know who he is?
You should know who he is.
Should I?
Yep.
Does he know who I am? Does he watch Hops and Brews? Do you watch Hops and Brews? If you start watching my channel, I'll start watching your channel. It's a deal. Sub for sub?
That's right, sub for sub. Yeah. His 1.7 million to John's 350?
392.
392. Okay. I'm a little out.
Yeah.
Little out of the loop on that one.
That's right. Yeah, last two videos did pretty well.
But seriously, the Hacksmith. Welcome, buddy. Great to see you here. John's a fan, I'm sure.
I love your show. It's fantastic. You hack. I'm sure you like chops things, right? By hacking it?
You know Colin Furs?
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, but like the American Colin Furs.
Oh, okay. So I was like, then why does he call himself the Hacksmith? You just call him.
Because he's the Hacksmith.
Okay.
Gosh, get off of it.
I'm sure he'll like Google you and be like, oh, that guy's pretty important. Yeah, I feel bad.
Sorry, 6.6 million.
Ah.
Someone's already corrected me. Watching out for you. So, a robotic contact lens.
Geordie LaForge.
With optical zoom.
Geordie LaForge is going to be live soon. We're going to have that.
I have wanted this as long as I can remember. Now, I have a really hard time wearing contacts, but I have always thought this technology would be possible because we've already implemented LCD displays and OLED displays on contact lenses for real live heads-up displays. This is an optical zoom. And it's done in a really interesting method. Basically what they've done is they've created a contact lens that has electrodes that connect to your eye. Do we not have a good picture of the...
There isn't a good picture.
I saw that in another article then. Basically, it has 4 electrode contacts to your eye, and as your eye is moving, as your eye is sending electrical impulses through the muscles, basically it will constrict the lens and cause the lens to become more convex, zooming in your vision up to 2 times.
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea what the focus would be like on that, if you would be able to focus that.
All of a sudden, you have the screen and you're going like this and it's just going in and out. So it's
right.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep. But the concept of a wearable, zoomable lens
is very intriguing, very cool.
I've always thought would just be the coolest thing ever.
No, yeah, like you were talking about with the display and everything. Like technology is actually starting to catch up. I mean, it's been talked about for years of wearable tech wear, or even the plastic wear.
Right.
You know, I think this is going to be closer to. This will be just kind of like that superhuman. Oh, I can go zoom in.
Yeah.
The elderly will no longer need, or these type of contacts will even be good for people that don't need prescription but need just close-up reading glasses.
Right.
Type of a thing.
Yeah, and they're what they're trying to do right now is fine-tune getting your eye to zoom in a certain level, to a certain level. And so if you do need contacts for reading, maybe you could, squint your eye in a certain way and it will zoom to a certain level and allow you to read a book that you wouldn't normally be able to read.
Well, what would also be interesting would be that this could be a universal contact lens for your prescription. Doesn't matter. This adjusts to, they could adapt it to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. It adjusts to what you need.
That's an interesting concept as well that I hadn't thought
of. That way, it's like you having to go to the eye doctor and always kind of get new prescriptions every 2 years, 1 year. Mm-hmm. You get this all the time and just adjust your prescription.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it could be very interesting. But like I said, the concept of being able to, like for me, work on a project and I've got a motherboard laying out in front of me, or I've got some soldering work that I'm trying to do right down in front of me.
And you just squint.
Being able to squint my eye just slightly and zoom into a level right there, so instead of having to wear the Cyclops magnifying lens hood,
that would just be so weird though.
Because my eyes are terrible. I'd be able to see the device that I'm looking at.
What would happen if you're like, forgot to take your contact lenses out and you're falling asleep and and it zooms in.
For the record, this is my collection of glasses right here. So my eyes are pretty terrible. Forgetting to keep the
I fall asleep on the couch.
Having your eyelid do this.
You're like, whoa, I just woke up. Although that could be an easy way to stay awake while you're driving.
That's right. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Well, we talked about the Nintendo Switch, and had I thought about this, I would have actually flipped the articles to go back with each other. One of the big news items out of QuakeCon this last week was Bethesda announced that the original Doom trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
For actually a reasonable price. It's $4.99 for Doom 1 and Doom 2, and then $9.99 for Doom 3. Which isn't a terrible price. They're actually, I think, more expensive than that on Steam on a regular basis. But it came with a little caveat that a lot of people didn't like. And did you get the updated article? There were 2 articles.
I got whatever.
Oh, you got one. Okay. Whatever. Sorry, I had another link. I will open it on my screen then. That shows the original thing here. So the little hook, the little caveat was always online DRM. And so you already buy this thing as a download only from the Nintendo Store, and then it makes you log in to a Bethesda.net account, Bethesda.net account.
And if you don't have one, sign up for one.
Right. And oops, sorry. That's the one I want. It's a game from 1993, so it's 26 years old.
Yeah.
And it's requiring an online authentication for DRM through an already DRM'd online store. It's just ridiculous in my opinion. that you cannot play this game that is legitimately open source. And the only way... I can't fathom this decision other than wanting more people to sign into
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just we want more subs on our place so we can email them more stuff, and they're like, oh, you like having Doom on your account? Well, you might like Half-Life. You might like Duke Nukem or whatever video games that they want.
Right.
You know, we'll send you coupon codes.
Yeah. So the thought of DRM inside of Doom really kind of spurned this this series of jokes of older games requiring login to Bethesda.net. And so as we scroll down the page here, we see someone took the original Mario World, and Bethesda.net is required. We've got Dracula. We've got the Banjo-Kazooie, which was one of my favorites.
I was like, I know that's coming, but it's still funny.
It's hilarious.
Zelda.
We've got Zelda. We've got the original Mario Brothers. We've got Final Fantasy. A couple different versions of Final Fantasy. So this is Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 7. We've got another original Zelda. We've got Duke Nukem, Half-Life, Pokemon.
Oh.
Probably the best. Oh, and by the way, this did generate a response from Bethesda that the Bethesda.net login requirement was included for the Slayers Club to reward members for playing the classic Doom. Sure, it was.
Yeah.
The login should be optional, and we're working on changing the requirement to optional now. So they're saying it was already optional, but we're making it optional, which means it wasn't optional.
Yeah, AKA we wanted you to sign up.
Right. Now, my favorite thing to come out of this is this. This is the Immersive Bethesda.net modification for Skyrim. And what it does... There we go. Is it starts your Skyrim single-player game, and then it says, please sign in to Bethesda.net. But it doesn't prompt you with any login credentials. It just says, please sign into, or please connect to the internet to continue.
Okay.
It then tries to authenticate to Bethesda servers with no credentials. If it fails 5 times, it exits the game.
That's it.
And it's a mod that you can download to get the official Bethesda experience. And I think that is the ultimate troll. Is including a Bethesda.net login into a Bethesda game and kicking you out because you don't have authentication rights. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's gosh. Modern day trolling is actually fantastic comparable to what it was like 10, 15 years ago. What people can now do so quickly and so fast on social media. It's hilarious now.
Yeah.
And it really does put corporations on their game and kind of checks them.
Yes. And I love the series of Twitter responses that literally happened within about an hour.
Yeah, all that.
They were on the ball with this one. And this Skyrim mod, I believe, launched Monday, which was just 2 days after QuakeCon had concluded. So, but absolutely fantastic. Speaking of absolutely fantastic, let's get to the Woot stock.
Let's do that. You want new glass or you just want to keep this one? I mean, I don't think this.
I don't think that's
gonna really affect.
Yep. So again, this is the Stone Brewing Woot Stout. This is a stout brewed with pecans, wheat, and rye, and 1/4 aged in bourbon barrels, 11.5%. It is a collaboration between Will Wheaton, Drew Curtis, and Greg Koch. It's an annual beer released by Stone, and they're pretty much always fantastic.
Yeah, this is actually interesting because this is the first year they ever released it in a 12-ounce can.
Traditionally it's been a bomber.
Traditionally it's been a 22-ounce bomber, so it's been very expensive. So now this is actually a very reasonable price beer. It's only about $3.50.
Oh, that vanilla right up front.
That's nice.
Little vanilla, little caramel.
And if you can tell from the head, though, it is a lot different than the last head from the Nitro Stout. It's very...
as my words escape me. Yeah, the vanilla is really what I get right on the nose.
I actually get a lot of pecan.
Yeah.
I get kind of a nutty, pecan-y, almost pecan,
Oh, yeah.
pecan pie.
Way late in the flavor.
Yes, it is way late in the flavor.
Like I said, very, very sweet up front.
Yeah.
And for being a barrel age, I was expecting a little bit more roast. That's actually being overridden by the pecans.
Yes, it is. It's interesting. There's that rye. There's kind of a bite of a rye in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the smoothest stout ever.
No, it's a little harsh on the back end.
Yeah. You do taste that 11.5.
Yes. Yeah, the ABV is not hidden in this beer at all.
Again, to why I really love the 12-ounce can, because this, I'll finish this myself.
Yes.
But the 22-ounce bomber was like, hey, Jeff, want to come over?
Right.
You know,
I want to open this beer. I can't do it alone.
Yes, exactly. Right. Or I'm going to be spending 4 hours doing this.
I have a number of those beers in my fridge. I've got the 2019 Goose Island...
Bourbon County?
Bourbon County?
Yeah.
15.6.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those, I either have a couple hours or I need to have someone with me.
Right.
You know,
it can't be like a Tuesday night. I feel
yeah,
like a Bourbon
it's
County
not
stout.
a steak and Bourbon County stout, steak and wood stout. You know, 22 ounces. That's not this type of beer.
Yeah.
12 ounces. This is the nightcap. I can finish this as my own nightcap, and I'll probably be fine with that. But no, this is. It's not the greatest in the world, but it is nice. I taste enough of the flavors that they're describing in this beer to give it. Yep, I give it that. I get a little bourbon. I don't get wheat, but I get rye, and I definitely get pecan. So, and this is a nationally distributed beer. So wherever you are, as long as you're in the States,
yes,
you can probably find this beer.
Yes. Yep. I did get to try the 2018 version of this. I don't know if this is any better or worse.
You know what's funny? Is actually that's what my video is. I have another video that I'm shooting this weekend is the 2018 versus the 2019.
Nice.
So
I am very curious to find that out because I remember it being very, very good.
Yeah.
But not like top tier quality. Like I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars kind of thing.
And that's the thing is most of the wood stouts get a low 4.
Yeah.
They usually get a low 4. And I think with Stone though, you have to remember when they make that collaboration beer, it's nationally distributed. So they have to make hundreds of barrels of system to distribute.
Right.
Hundreds of thousands of gallons of it.
Right.
So it's a lot. It's not just your little nationally distributed, oh, we're doing a little bit here, do a little bit there, you know, kind of some Fort George-esque. It's only Pacific Northwest. Goose Island. Yeah, they had to probably adjust.
Right.
But then some of the other flavors are a lot harder to find.
Yes, they are. Around this area, I can get the standard Bourbon County Stout pretty much any time of year. It's at my local bottle shops, my specialty shops, but it's available. Yeah. The specialty bottles go and they go quick, and they are never to be seen again. Like they're on shelves here for about 2 weeks.
If that, yeah, and that's even if we get them. There are usually, I think last year was like 7 different variations, and we only got 3. Yeah, including the original, the regular. So because even now there are still shops that have original stuff. I think I've seen some at Safeway. Yeah, you know, Dragon's Milk is now everywhere here. Yes, which is probably just up there with Bourbon County.
Absolutely it is. In fact, I have a bottle of each in my fridge right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, but this would actually, still, very good nightcap, I think. And you know, one of my favorite things to do at night is actually watch, like, cartoons. Yep. I love kind of winding down and watching adult-esque cartoons. Yep. Kind of adult humor, Rick and Morty, Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park. And surprisingly, it's going to be fantastic, because I'm hoping is the creator, or one of the creators of Rick and Morty, is releasing a brand new series coming soon to Hulu.
By the way, Hacksmith, ask me that same question in about 10 minutes, and I will get to you on the AliExpress 2011 motherboards. I'll circle back to you. Ask me again if I forget.
I mean, do you? Because he's so large. It's 6 million. Do you want to just get it now?
Fine, we'll get it now.
Okay.
I have tested the 2011 motherboards off AliExpress quite extensively on my channel. They are stable as heck. They do very, very well in 24/7 workloads. I do use or have used one of their boards for a FreeNAS server. I've also used one of them for a VM server in the past. You are missing a couple of features, but a lot of people wouldn't notice the features that are missing. I will say the BIOS is a little bit limiting, but for the money, they're probably one of the best bangs for the buck that you can get, and they're quite reliable. So if you want, feel free to DM me or email me after the show, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Well, wasn't that one of your very first videos too? My
very first video was an AliExpress X79 motherboard, and it's a subject that I've returned to quite a few times on the channel. So, do DM me if you're curious on learning a little bit about them, or you just have any questions in general. I'd be happy to help out.
If you want to talk about the beer, you can DM me.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Or me, because
But
I didn't own a tap house, but I drank just as much.
You did, and happened to shoot that X79 motherboard video in my tap house.
I did.
While drinking my beer. So I'm just saying, if you want to know about what Jeff's drinking, I'm only playing. But call me.
All right.
Anyways, so
new series from Justin Roiland.
New series from Justin Roiland. Roiland, who is the voice of Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Both. Yes, he is the both voice of Rick and Morty. It's going to be called Solar Opposites. This was actually talked about a long time ago, but officially got announced at was it Comic-Con or?
Yeah, it was Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Had its own panel and everything. So it hopefully probably going to have that same esque Rick and Morty style.
Yep.
It's not going to have that whole genius of the idea is this alien planet exploded and this family was escaping and crash lands on Earth and ends up buying the house that they crash landed and decides to live on Earth then. And makes that, and then half the family adopts to the Earth living and the other half still maintains the traditional alien morals that they grew up with. So obviously, the artwork is very similar to Rick and Morty.
It's modern-day Coneheads.
Yeah, it's basically modern-day Coneheads.
I'm really surprised in the paragraph and analogy you just gave us that didn't come up.
I didn't think of that, actually.
It's modern-day Coneheads.
So, I'm looking forward to this. This will probably be pretty fun. If it's similar humor to the Rick and Morty, and I'm also looking forward to the lower deck. Have you seen screenshots for that?
Yes, I have.
That looks really good.
I was so skeptical of Lower Deck when I saw it announced, because I went adult level humor for a Star Trek, like the After Hours, which is a robot chicken special.
Yeah.
Which
they've done fantastic.
Yeah, it's the Star Trek Midnight Crew or Midnight Shift or whatever it was.
That was fantastic.
But anyway, Hacksmith says he has the beer side covered, so thanks anyway, John.
Yeah, you think that. You think that.
We'll throw down. I'll throw
down with the best of them.
Anyway.
Let's do this. Channel battle.
That's right.
Do this.
Anyway, this looks absolutely fantastic. Anything from Justin Roiland, I am totally on board with.
Yeah.
With the success of Rick and Morty, and with now if they can just produce them on a regular timeline, I'd be more than thrilled.
Well, and the other thing was that the show already got renewed for 2 seasons. It was already signed up for 2 seasons without even airing a single episode. I'm betting it has to do, again, with the co-creator.
Third Rock from the Sun cartoon. That's another great
That's
reference.
A good one. That's actually probably better than Coneheads.
Yes and no, because all of Third Rock was trying to assimilate into the Earth culture. While still trying to get back to... Or they were on their mission that they were doing and whatnot. Whereas Coneheads... I feel the daughter was trying to integrate into the culture and spoke normally and everything else.
Yeah.
She can still have her accent, we are from France, that thing. And so she had assimilated an American accent and whatnot, whereas the parents were very much, still wore the traditional garb or...
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. So
The links on this one are just
awful.
Yeah,
awful.
It's just refreshing.
I
don't know. Whatever your you might need to pull it up on yours.
I don't think we need to pull this one up. It goes without saying. Star Trek: The Motion Picture is returning to theaters after 40 years.
Yeah, who's gonna go like that?
Honestly, it's one of the worst Star Trek movies.
It's a horror. In retrospect, I kind of like the idea of the story of the satellite. Gets AI. Like, okay, old tech goes out. But because when I first saw it, I was a very young kid, and that intrigued me. It's like, oh yeah, old tech. Now that I know about stuff, like, there's no way that could even happen. It's horrible. It's almost like Akira, the Japanese anime of like some old tech, and they just start accumulating old things and grows and comes back for revenge, looking for its master.
Even the best original series Star Trek movie had some really weird concepts because if you think we disagree though. We disagree.
The whale one?
The whale one.
Voyage
Home is the best original series movie.
Voyage Home has the best humor.
It is the most watchable and holds up today.
Wrath of Khan holds up today because it references the original series.
Wrath of Khan does not hold up today.
Yes, it does. It is still the only one that only addresses the Z-axis that no other movie ever talks about.
That's true. We're all flying on the all flying through space, but we're all flying right here.
Yeah, we're all flying right here, and let's go up and down. Hey, there's an idea.
Yeah. No one ever said pull up in Star Trek ever.
Yeah, no, it's just the Riker and Picard maneuver just
hard to port.
Yeah, hard. It's just this, oh gosh.
Or separate the saucer section.
Alpha or defense move alpha or beta or whatever.
Separate the saucer section and flank them.
Yeah, it's just, we're going to go. Yeah, even the saucer. You think, look, it has to go up this way. And then just goes forward. No, keep going up. Split up.
Yeah.
So, no, but I will say those two are the top, in my opinion. For original series.
Yep. Hacksmith craft computing collaboration. I'd be down. I don't know what we do, but we could probably think of something.
No one ever mentions Hops and Bruce.
Hops and Bruce could come along as part of craft computing.
Oh yes, and it'd be like, just bring the beer and shut up in the corner. Get us our latte.
Boy, I need a break. Hey John, what did you bring today?
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. I mean, I'd still do it. I'll get like 10 subs out of it, so I'm good.
Totally. The Borg Cube and Sphere made a lot of 3D space. And I will say, during the Borg battles, they did make more of 3D space. And some of the DS9 battles, the retaking of DS9 made a lot of up-down. Generation, whether it was a budget constraint or a storytelling constraint, they did a lot of 2D plane stuff. As did original series. I will say Voyager kind of went back to the 2D plane as well. So
I think they were restricted because in Voyagers did they still use a physical model?
Yes, they did.
I'm wondering if it's more of a physical model because DS9 started using effects a lot because they were just recapturing some shots, and then it wasn't really toward the last two seasons where they really started getting into some intricate battles.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
Right.
Oh, did you ever get to watch the biography?
The what?
The Return to DS9 or whatever it was?
Oh, no, I haven't. What We Left Behind.
What We Left Behind, yeah.
No, I will be getting that Blu-ray. I will get access to it somehow.
Oh, okay.
I was too late for the crowdfunding effort for it. I found out about it too late. Otherwise, I would have dropped premium money down to get that because I would... DS9 never got a movie, and that's a travesty.
Yeah. They weren't even mentioned. At least Janeway was mentioned in Nemesis.
Right. Yeah, she had a cameo. She had an Admiral Janeway.
So you would think at least... Well, I guess he doesn't live, so... They're really... Who are you going to do? Odo?
Yeah, and Odo can't carry
But Bashir, I wouldn't have minded a cameo from Bashir, because even the Doctor got a cameo in
Right.
First Contact.
Well, that was actually there's a funny story behind the Doctor's cameo in First Contact, because he was really good friends with Rick Behrman, who's one of the longtime producers of a lot of the Star Trek episodes. Robert Picardo, the actor for the Doctor, talked at length one time about how he kind of slipped his name in to go on, well, you know, they have a brand new Federation flagship. Wouldn't it make sense if they had an EMH in it?
Yeah.
Hey, I was thinking it'd be really great if we had an EMH on the new Federation flagship. It's the top of the line ship after all. Maybe a newer version, newer uniform kind of thing. And so he like wedged himself into the movie as a cameo role, and they turned him on and said, you know, Stalin, do whatever else. I'm a doctor, not a doorstop, to the Borg. But literally, it was Picardo behind the scenes talking to Rick Berman,
just kind of like casually mentioned, like, yeah, that's a good idea.
And Jonathan Frakes, the director, going, you know, hey, you know, we should have an EMH in this video.
But I like it. Even in the Voyager series, there would have been they would have had the Mark III then,
right?
It probably on there, but still.
Well, remember in DS9 they were
going to do the Mark 1 or 2.
No. Dr. Zimmerman came to Bashir to make a long-term medical.
Yeah, well, I'm betting that was the Mark 2.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
But they never went through, and then they made Andy something or other. I forgot what his last name was as the Mark 3. So.
The future Enterprise with 3 nacelles did fly up to destroy the ship.
Oh yes, that's right. It did do that.
In All Good Things.
Yes. Yep. Just keep doing that then.
That's right.
Did you see how easy it was? Just from underneath.
Yep. Defiance and First Contact. So DS9 did get a little bit of a shout out with Worf being the captain.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that. The Defiant which is actually probably the best. One of the better characters, even though it's not a character, but
right,
you know.
No, that ship is legendary.
Yeah, so I think the got the famous line, "Tough little ship."
Right.
You know, little, yeah. But I think probably
you still do remember how to fire phasers, right?
That's a great line. So many good. Actually, I thought about because of the. New Picard and Lower Decks. Like, man, I gotta do my Star Trek round again.
Michael Dorn was seen on set.
Yeah, I gotta. Oh yeah. So I gotta do. Usually I do rounds of Star Trek. I might have to start a little bit earlier than I'm used to. Just to I want to dig back in there.
I went back and I watched a couple Next Generation episodes just to kind of play around. I watched Rolaren the other night. With Next Generation, I don't necessarily do a full watch through.
I don't do it. Well, that's the thing with Next Gen. I probably start end of 2.
Yeah. And
then I skip a couple in 3.
Yeah.
And most of the rest of that. But yeah,
you don't watch the game.
Yeah. No, that's so horrible. Where well, we're not going to get into
this. Oh, come on. Wesley saves the day. We're drinking his beer.
We're not going to get into this argument of what we watched in DS9 versus TNG versus Voyager.
We're drinking his beer. You don't watch the game?
Yes, the game's a fantastic one. I would love for a VR game to come out and be that game.
Yep.
That would be great. Someone develop
I'm shocked it hasn't come out already,
right?
Especially with the front-facing cameras, so you could see through it. And
the augmented reality, it's just everything's there. Like,
your wife can walk in and go, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm playing a game right now." Why is that not a game yet?
I don't understand. Probably because they didn't even understand how it worked.
I had a Virtual Boy emulator for the original DK1. Why is the game from Star Trek not a game on the CV1? Or the Quest. The Quest would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right, Q&A.
Q&A. Yeah, we got 10 or 15 minutes.
All right. You already answered.
Hacksmith. So if anyone else has any questions, I'd be.
Otherwise, we're gonna keep talking Trek.
Yeah. If we don't stop, it's gonna be a 3-hour show.
I was like, I gotta bite my tongue on a couple things here. We've already talked extensively on these subjects.
Yes.
So.
But that's why people tune in. Good morning from Germany. Guten Morgen.
Good morning.
Okay, yeah. If you have any questions, chime in. The floor is yours.
Yep. anything we talked about this episode, past episodes, anything you want to talk about, Jeff about, myself about. Actually, if you have a question and you, for some reason doesn't get it, write in the comments. Jeff always reads the comments. I love reading a lot of the comments on the shows that I'm on. Or if for some reason in the middle of the week, join Jeff's Discord. It's a fantastic community. We do a lot of talking of tech. We got all these different channels of cars, TV, pop culture, music, all things. Minimum just $1 a month.
Yep.
Really, if you'd like to do more, it does more. But all of the money, 100% of the proceeds, really does go back into this channel.
Yep, it buys me the hardware I need for this channel, buys me the camera gear I need for this channel. Really everything from Patreon I do put directly back into production.
Yeah.
So your donations are very much, I'll say, encouraged and appreciated. But Patreon has become the number 2 or 3 kind of trades places with Amazon affiliate links. Amazon actually has recently taken a much higher tier in the channel. So you're actually fighting 2 and 3 with YouTube.
Ooh.
So,
and again, too, if you're actually also buying anything off of Amazon, just check out Jeff's Amazon affiliate link. Doesn't really matter what you're buying, just click on Jeff's part and then go buy it.
Yep. How do I keep myself from spending $75 in 2 minutes on Tavor?
Oh, that's simple. He gets it from me.
There's a reason I'm drinking Woot Stout right now.
I buy it.
Yep.
That's how he saves the money.
I will say, I have a pretty extensive beer collection myself.
You do.
Not quite what John has.
No.
I do spend a lot more money on beer.
Yeah. We share.
We share. John comes over, he gets to try the new whiskeys.
Exactly. And then I bring him Woot Stout or something different, something weird. And every now and then, if there's something expensive, Jeff, here you go.
Yeah.
You know. So, it's Jeff buys PC parts and liquor, and I buy beer.
That's right. Would you recommend an offsite backup over a cloud backup of a VPS? It all depends on if you have access to a secondary site, which you can put a server or a NAS device. Honestly, if you control the device, that's always the best way to go. So if your parents have an internet connection, maybe VPN to them and send them data encrypted over the internet. If not, honestly, a cloud backup solution is not a bad way to go. I have a lot of data that I do back up to the cloud. I use Google Drive to back up a large chunk of my personal data, mainly just as a disaster recovery. If there's a flood or a fire or a tornado or earthquake, whatever. Acts of God. I have one copy of my data that I can go and pick up. Maybe it's a couple of days out of date, maybe a week, but I don't lose everything.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to both. The cons being that Google sees what I upload. The pros being that, well, if Google goes down, we have much bigger problems, namely survival.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Oh, no, someone asked if we lived in Oregon. He lives in Cali. They want to know if we ever had any Crooked Lane beer. Mm-hmm. I have not. I don't think you have had either.
I have not.
Actually,
I've heard of the brewery before.
If you'd like to send some up, we can do some kind of, hey, here's some Oregon beer, here's some not. PM either one of us. Also, someone would like to know if we'd like some German beer.
I would love some German beer.
We are huge fans of German beer. At my tap room, like Jeff was mentioned earlier, I used to always try to keep one German/European beer always on draft.
And I helped.
And Jeff always helped empty that cake.
Honestly, German beers are my wheelhouse. I love a good Berliner Weiss. I love a good Hef.
A good Hef.
Authentic.
I love a good Hef. I love a good Dunkelweizen, a good Weizen.
Oh, Dunkels especially.
Yeah, Dunkels are fantastic. So yes, if you have any of those, I will definitely love to try them. They are great. I love more of the maltier, good body, the minerals in the water over in Germany and Europe are just fantastic. Completely different compared to over here in the Northwest.
Yep. Does everything need to be a juice bomb? I really like them, but I do want a little bit more variety.
Right? Oh, I totally agree.
Yes.
100% agree on that. That's why I really implore people to brew outside of what the Northwest has. But here it is they'll sell. If you own a brewery, you got to do what sells.
Yes.
I mean, you can do your little experimental stuff or your personal favorite, but when it comes down to it, you have to do what makes the business money.
Evan says, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
What would you suggest first, upgrading an X3470 or a GTX 770? I would honestly upgrade the video card first, depending on your budget. I'm assuming with a 770, you're going to want to kind of stay in that same budget of maybe a 3 to 350. Maybe a 1660 Ti is a great value for you, or maybe a 5700 XT. Those are kind of the two that I would look at. The 1660 Ti you can get for as low as about $250 to $270. Yeah. Fantastic card, and if you're not really like pushing,
you can get medium to high.
Medium to high 1080p very easily, maybe even the same settings at 1440p given modern games. Yeah. The X3470 is still a decent little chip. So I would probably go video card first and CPU second. Mainly because the CPU, if you're looking at modern platforms, you're going to have to upgrade motherboard, CPU, and memory all at the same time, possibly even throw storage into there. That's going to be a much more substantial upgrade in the modern ecosystem. Yeah. So
do what you can now with the budget that you might have.
Yep.
And then if you want to do more, plan and make a budget to save for that.
Yep. Yeah, the two cards I'd recommend right now between $250 and $400 would be the 1660 Ti or the 5700 XT. So yeah, look at those, see if they fit within your budget, and go from there.
Yeah, and if you do, kind of a little bit back to the other point we were saying, if you do want to talk to us about sending us beer or doing any kind of beer trade, PM either one of us. We'll get you details. We'll talk you through that here. It's probably not really something we want to say over the video.
Right. What do you think about buying broken panels on eBay and fixing them with parts from China? I think Linus did a fantastic video on that, and I would refer to his. I've never done necessarily repaired panels through his method of buying like a broken LCD and then repairing it later on. I've had a lot of experience in repairing consumer level parts, whether it's laptops or netbooks or things like that, with panels from China, and I've always had pretty good success with it. But your results may vary, but I would yield to Linus's video to go over that. Hey man, I loved your 10 gigabit network video card or network video that you did. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Is there a possibility to send you beer? Check out the PO box down in the video description. Yep. I can receive mail from any carrier. I will leave you that to interpret as you will. UPS is really the only carrier that does allow alcohol shipments, in that they don't like yell at you if you ship alcohol, but it is against terms of service for both FedEx, USPS, and DHL. Yeah. But I can accept shipments from any carrier at that address down in the video description. So take that information as you will.
They're yeast samples.
Yes, they're yeast samples. Bottled yeast samples.
There's bottled yeast
in
samples.
Suspension.
Yes, that's how I always market mine.
That's right. What is your favorite episode from Voyager?
The one where 709 shows up.
That's a good episode. Honestly, the second one is better because you see her in the cat suit and not in the ball.
Yeah. Okay, that's there's that one.
So season 4, episode 1.
Yes.
Honestly, my favorite episode is probably
the one where Janeway and Paris turn into lizards.
Slugs.
Yeah, and make out.
You like Transwarp?
Yeah.
John's a fan of Transwarp. I'm a fan of the one where Harry and Chakotay basically have to live a tortured life.
Oh, okay, so that's like end of the
series, season 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Basically, they developed a method, or Harry developed a method to use a transwarp tunnel to get Voyager home. He had to run in a shuttlecraft ahead of Voyager.
Yeah, I forget what that little the one they built.
Yeah, Paris's design.
Yeah.
By the way. Delta Flyer. He had to run a Delta Flyer ahead of Voyager and send them course corrections back so they could make course corrections and not get any eddies and whatnot and get swept away. He sent them the wrong calculation. Voyager got swept away and everyone died.
Yeah.
And they had to live with that mistake for 15 years. Well, the story goes that Harry and Chakotay for the last 15 years have been trying to find Voyager and then communicate with a past version of Voyager to send them the proper course corrections.
Wasn't the 7 of 9 through the nanoprobe or frequency, or was it the Doctor?
That was the Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
maybe both. I don't
remember. I remember you mentioning this before. You liked it because Captain LaForge shows up.
What in the world did you do to my computer?
Nothing. Jeff just got the blue screen of death. It won't even show.
It won't even show. Yeah.
It won't even show.
It's displaying the last HDMI. Yeah. There's a blue screen of death on my. Yay!
Yay! on a tech show.
Anyway, Harry figuring out the puzzle to the transwarp theorem, as well as sending Voyager the code corrections, as well as seeing Captain LaForge on his Galaxy class cruiser, and all the interactions that go with that, and Janeway handing him the pad at the end of the episode, saying we received a subspace transmission to Harry Kim. From Harry Kim, yeah. It's just an amazingly powerful episode.
Yeah, that's a good one. It is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some stinkers in there. There's Tuvix, there's the lizards in Transwarp, there's any holodeck episode.
Oh gosh, where like what was that farm town?
Pleasantville or
whatever. Yeah. All of those are horrible.
That's the movie, but yeah.
They
had like 3 of those. It's like, give it up on the first one. It didn't work.
Janeway falls in love with the hologram. And
God,
it's like horrible.
Yep.
Because the captain needs some time off.
Yep.
Or there was one where Janeway is with Leonardo da Vinci. And then, then Leonardo da Vinci, like, their ship gets captured, and then he becomes a sentient hologram like the Doctor's. Like, no, come on. This is stupid. There were some definitely bad fillers.
Yep. Hacksmith says he's out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk. Seriously.
I'll look you up.
Yeah.
I might.
I'll make sure John watches your videos, because there's some that he would like.
I was like, that's cool.
There are some videos that he would like.
I'm going to comment, and you better like those comments.
We should host a beer tasting.
We should.
That'd be amazing.
It's essentially what my show is all the time. Just saying. I mean, that's basically what my show is. You know what we do need to do, though, because it's the middle of summer. We do need to do another milkshake.
We do.
Alcoholic milkshake. I was thinking more of a stout this time.
Sure.
Chocolate. Since you are a little bit closer to my house now.
Yes. Indeed.
So, actually, I think this weekend Steve and I are brewing some beers.
I am wide open this weekend.
If you'd like to come over, just might shoot a couple videos. I got plenty of new beers to try. I have a
your place?
Yeah,
done.
A cream ale with strawberries, and it was brewed with. It's a cream ale brewed with strawberries and vanilla cone.
Steve's favorite video or Steve's favorite episode is the one where Neelix does something stupid. Oh, so every other.
Well, wait, no, doesn't Neelix leave the ship?
And thank you, everyone. We came up with Delta Flyer on our own. I didn't see those comments. That was from memory. So, I'm not perfect, but it was close.
That was stupid. I hated that. I hated the fact that Neelix left the show like 2 episodes before the final.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. The whole point of he's like, oh, I want to go to Earth, and then, oh, I found a colony of my own people way out here in the Delta Quadrant. I'm going to stay with them.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Neelix should have gone all the way back.
Yeah. That was
it. Let's see. Audio is still out on the cam. Yeah, we'll fix it later. We didn't talk during that show, so don't worry about it. The World War II holodeck episode with Hirogen was one of my favorites. That is a good one.
It's not bad. It's not really that bad.
I also really like the 37s.
Which one was that?
The Amelia Earhart.
Oh, yeah.
Where they find a Model T floating in space.
Yeah, I know that one. That one's not too bad. What was some of the other ones?
Or Model A, I guess
what was the species 847651 or whatever?
8472.
8472. Where they found the disease for that. I like a couple of those horrible graphics.
That was included with the 7 of 9 series.
Yeah.
The 2 or 3 videos where they were negotiating with the Borg, and 7 of 9 turned on them.
That's right. There's a reason why I like those.
Cut them off from the collective, put her in the brig, yada yada. Launched literally genocide on 8472.
You know, another stupid one was the...
Year of Hell.
Which one was that one?
That was the one that didn't happen. That was the one where they spent a year fighting 8472.
Yeah, that was really good.
Amazing.
You know, it was really bad. The Q ones. The Q ones weren't that good.
No,
they weren't. Where Q has to go and have a baby.
Yeah. With
someone is like, this is stupid.
Yeah, Q
didn't work in DS9. Q didn't work in Voyager.
No.
Although the little cameo from Riker.
Yes.
From that one wasn't bad.
Yes.
But
I don't mind cameos. I don't want storylines from previous characters.
Yeah.
And DS9 did very, very well at integrating Worf into the series and integrating Miles O'Brien into the series. What they didn't do well was Lwaxana Troi and Q coming back and making appearances. And then they had cameos back and forth with Voyager, where the Doctor makes an appearance on DS9, and well, that was very well done because he wasn't playing the Doctor. He was playing Dr. Zimmerman.
Yeah.
And so, there were a lot of highs and lows with Voyager. There were a lot more lows than there were highs.
Yeah. There was the Borg dream state world, whatever, where the Borg queens got to go kill them. But when they sleep, they're technically conscious of their other subconscious original human. That was horrible, too.
Can't wait for the Picard episode where they find a Tesla floating in space.
You know, the more and more I thought about the Picard, I'm really hoping they don't mess it up.
I'm hoping they don't mess it up.
And it's right now, the more, it's just, I don't know.
There's one way that it can go extremely well, and that it becomes its own thing. And I think going Borg-centric and bringing back literally a character from each series and saying we're going to regroup everyone, and by the way, 7 of 9 is confirmed as a main character in this, as is Hugh the Borg.
Yeah, Hugh the Borg was even on the panel.
Right, but they are confirmed as main feature characters in this series. Where they can go wrong is giving everyone a cameo.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what Major Kira is doing today, or what Odo is doing today, or what Quark is doing today.
Yeah.
If it's just a base cameo where they want to fly into DS9 and then they're flying out to somewhere else to see something,
and then there's one
and they stop at Quark's and it's a 2-minute scene.
Perfect.
I'm on board.
I'm on. Yeah.
If they take Quark along for his expertise in
trading, no,
get out of here.
Yeah.
I want a new character there.
Yeah, I know. My only thought is, it's just, I don't want it to be... I'm betting it's going to be like, okay, Romulus supposedly blows up.
Yep.
I don't want it to be, we made a deal with the Borg, or the Borg somehow simulated themselves to be organic looking. And they're Borg, but they look like the T2, the T-1000.
No, I think this is the Romulans experimenting with Borg technology.
Yeah, or nanoperson. So right. that's where what's-her-face comes into play. 7 of 9.
7 of 9, and possibly Janeway.
Yes. I don't think she'll show up, but I think that's where Hugh probably looks more human-esque.
Yes.
Is their surgical things. There was a kind of a scene that looked like they were pulling Borg parts.
Yeah, the hiccups are back. Like, nothing I can do about it.
So, I kind of almost wonder if it's more of like, we're genetically curing people by putting Borg nanobots into them.
Right.
And then the Borg are finding out that they're doing that. Now we can control those nanobots and then turn those people. And then that girl that I somehow feel safe with you is because she's the first human genetic, like, the offspring.
Right.
And then she somehow thinks Picard's Locutus.
I have heard that that girl is the reincarnation of the Borg Queen.
I've heard that too.
I don't know what to think about that one.
I heard that too, but I don't think it's a reincarnation because the Borg, from my understanding, the Borg is more of a conscious download and it was just an organic body because that's how they explained it in Voyager.
Right.
Because she died in First Contact and came back in Voyager.
Right.
I'm thinking it's going to be more of, because Locutus was supposed to be the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And she, for some reason, has this hive collective mind, and she's the first organic free thinking board hybrid.
Right.
And somehow thinks.
Well, we see her in the containment area.
Yeah. The only other thing I don't like. One thing that really bothered me in the trailer: the kung fu kick. That off of there was a scene.
But it was kung fu.
Yeah, and then she kicks this. Someone kicks this guy off of some stairs. It's like Star Trek doesn't have kung fu. Star Trek doesn't have kung fu.
Well, Sulu was trained in hand-to-hand combat or fencing.
Yeah, fencing. Yeah, but that was just, it's like okay, but just don't ruin it. Just don't ruin it.
Hope there is a cameo with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian.
Yes.
Picard's dog is a Borg. I could see that.
No, Picard. Well, I do love Picard's dog's name is number 1.
Yes,
So,
that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Anyway, it is 3:10. We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think that's a fantastic place to call it.
Yep. I think we did a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
And actually, I like this a little bit better as it warmed up. The alcohol burn kind of went away.
Yes.
Not as much nutty flavor anymore.
A lot more dark chocolate, caramel.
I got dark
little
chocolate,
bit of caramel,
and then I still got rye. I got rye throughout the whole thing. Rye and wheat, which I'm betting that was more of Will Wheaton's.
Yeah, more rye than anything else. That is the predominant flavor, especially as this warms up in my hand.
Yeah, initial flavor. I got the pecan, but like you said, I think 4. 4 is a good solid effort. And
fingers crossed for a Spot cameo.
Oh no, that won't happen.
Spot is well dead. As Brent Spiner has said, I think there were like 12 different Spots.
Oh yeah, and then I'm betting Data is actually a dream sequence, or not even that. His conscience is somewhere else with the voice, and then all the scenes that we see with him with Picard, those are just dream or hallucination sequences.
Well, remember, in Nemesis, they downloaded Data's consciousness into B4, but B4's neural cortex wasn't developed enough to interpret it.
But
Starfleet may have made roads in the last 20 years.
May have, but they've already confirmed that the body that was in the trailer that was spliced up was B4.
Right.
And then...
But we've also confirmed that Brett Spiner is playing Data and not B4.
Exactly. So but he also distinctly said, not the way you think.
Yep.
So I think it's more going to be kind of more like the voice of the computer, to where...
Steve says, leave the door open, I'm coming over. Text me when you get here, I'll open the door for you.
Or you want the last sip of the Woot Stout? I have another can. Well, I gotta do a review on them.
Yep.
But whatever.
Anyway, this has been episode 91 of Talking Heads, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Check out John's channel at Hops and Brews. If you like the beer content on this channel, it's much of the same over on his channel.
Yes.
A lot of in-depth walkthroughs on beers, tasting notes, how to taste, how to buy, and the occasional appearance of craft computing for mixing up some beer cocktails.
Which we need to do more.
We need to do again.
We need to,
yes. Anyway, this has been episode 91. I have the hiccups. I think that's a great time to end it. And we will see you all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time.
See you guys.
Cheers, all.